shown there. We understand the concern for not wanting flat roofs on the buildings. So we're going to try and incorporate those into the designs as we go further. We would do the same thing with this facility here. Last week we were able to get a meeting with the Texas Commission on jail standards, and Chief Pinkerton was able to get us a meeting set up on short notice, which was great because we were able to spend about 3.5 hours with them in Austin going over this complete conceptual design that we've just shown you. And in doing that, we had a lot of very good discussion about the types of beds that we're looking at building, the type of supervision we're going to have in the facility, how we're going to operate the jail. Those are all very good discussions that I think are very beneficial to have early on in any conceptual design, and it was very advantageous, I felt, to be able to go down there and really sit down one-on-one with them and go through this concept design. Some of the items we discussed with them, obviously the location in the city, that we were putting this adjacent to the existing facility. They like that. The proximity to the courts is always good when you can be as close as possible. We talked about the access points to the site and to the building. Those are important in terms of controlling security in the buildings, deliveries, vehicle sally port access. All those things are very important. So we went over all those issues with the Texas Jail Commission. Of course, we talked about the bed counts, what types of beds we're building, how many, if those met their percentage requirements, and they did. So they were very happy to see all that. We talked about the remote visitation that Larry mentioned earlier, and they're very on board with that. They said that should work very well. One nice thing that does for us here on this particular project, being a downtown facility, you have very limited parking. And so with a large jail facility like this, you'd have quite a bit of public that would want to visit your site. And so if we can utilize maybe the low-risk facility out of town or some other facility for the video visitation purpose that already has parking there, then we don't have to purchase land and build new parking and add cost to this project. So I think that's a very good potential solution. The booking intake area, we went over that in great detail, and as we explained to the sheriff and Chief Pinkerton and Bobby, we're going to continue to make changes to that as the design moves forward. But really at the conceptual stage, it's so important to make sure that we get all of the functional requirements in the space so that we know we have enough square footage to eventually design the entire structure. We've done what we call conceptual design. As we begin to move forward, we'll continue to look at the solutions that we've portrayed and make sure they work and function for you. We've talked about the central control. We actually have that located on the hinge, it's on the lower level of the existing facility between the new building, the new jail tower, and the low-risk facility, and so it's a very nice central location for central control. It's a great location to be able to manage things. We went over all the housing pod designs with the Jail Commission. They were very happy with everything we showed them. We made some slight tweaks, moving the video visitation. They had some good input there, and making sure we had all the correct numbers of toilets and things like that for everything to function properly. And we talked about male-female areas. What we're proposing in this conceptual design is to have the second floor of the existing jail, along with a part of the second floor of the low-risk facility, be the female housing area in the building. This will help to separate females from males throughout the facility and will aid in the functional operation of the jail so that they don't get mixed up and cause problems. So everyone was fine with that. And then we went over the project schedule, when this facility, if a bond issue passes, would begin to be designed and built and all that, and we've got more of that towards the end of this presentation. They approved, as I said, really approved everything we went over with them. They were very happy, and pretty much all the adjustments that they asked for have been made that you've seen in today's floor plans. With the one exception being
those video booths.
The video booths on the one floor, and we'll be making that, I can assure you, when we get back to our office. In talking with them, they don't expect anything else from us now until we actually get into the design phase of the project. So they're very happy with the conceptual design process and the solutions that we put forward to them. Okay, so then we get into the conceptual cost estimate, and this slide begins to tell the story. What we're looking at doing is, as you can start at the top there, the new building, gross square footage is about 266,586 square feet, and the average cost per square foot is $297 per square foot. So the cost for that portion of the project is $71.1 million. The site improvements, incidentally, we've submitted this conceptual design to our estimator, and he has in turn gone over it, looked at all of the layouts, the solutions, the types of housing, the types of support space, and used all that to determine square foot numbers for each of the different types of spaces, which we have then incorporated into this compiled analysis here. The site improvements, $12 a square foot, that's $840,000. Design contingency, because we're very early in the design process now, as we move forward, there will inevitably be things that we haven't had an opportunity to look at or know about the site. There may be utilities that we need to add on to serve the site, or when we vacate Spring Street, there may be some utility costs there. Also, there may just be other design issues that as we get further on down the road, we come upon that we need to incorporate into the building. Those are all things that you typically have at this phase of the project, and so we always show a contingency at this point so that we can, because we know those things are going to happen, they just always do. And so that's what that $7 million is for right there. As I mentioned earlier, in the existing jail renovation, the floors 2 and 3, we are leaving the existing housing units, as Larry mentioned. However, we do want to upgrade those areas a little bit, maybe better security, clean them up a little, and so we have some money in here allocated for that. So you can see there, if you add those numbers all up, the 2007 construction cost is $80.5 million. Then looking at inflation, given that this project, if we go forward and the bond issue passes, we will be bidding approximately this time next year, so it's about a year from now. So we're looking at 1 year of inflation. And so that adds an additional $6.4 million to our cost estimate. So 2008, when the project was bid, we're looking at $86.9 million. And then you have soft costs, which are things, all the architectural engineering fees, construction management fees, geotechnical survey, topographical survey, some furniture, some equipment, all those things. Just in having done a lot of jail projects, we know that you have about 15% or is going to cover most or all of those costs. So we have $12 million in there for that. And you can see the bottom line there, the construction and soft costs added in together are $99.027 million. So very large project. This next slide just goes through and begins to look at the different square footages that our estimator looked at and the different costs per square foot that he assigned to different parts of the building. As you're all aware, administrative space is going to cost less than building a jail cell. So what this does is it begins to quantify how much each of the different areas of the building will cost. You can see down there, if you go to the kitchen and staff dining area, that's $285 a square foot. And that includes the kitchen equipment costs that would go into building a new kitchen. And same for the laundry down lower, a new laundry, larger units, new units that would have to service that new facility. So that includes that laundry equipment in it. So these are the different square footage types that we've looked at, and this is what was really utilized to generate the basis of the cost estimate. Next, we're looking at an overall project schedule, and again, it's important to look at what needs to happen for the next phase of the project to happen. And so this is just a quick overview. Go to the next slide. It's a little blow up so we can see a little bit more. You can't see the whole thing, but obviously right now we're in the planning and project funding period, and we're meeting with you today, and hopefully get approval of this conceptual phase so we can move on to the next phase of the project. Once we do that, along with, we need to still finalize these conceptual designs that we've developed in terms of what the exterior needs to look like. We're going to use those to present to the public and show them this is what the new jail facility will look like in downtown Tyler. And so anyway, all that